Conventions might be dead, but Steve Sisolak to the rescue. What's going on, guys? My name is Steven and I am not leaving Las Vegas, and today we're going to talk about something that I hope isn't true, the possible death of the convention season in Las Vegas. At least for the foreseeable future, but is it possible that it'll be forever? And I'm standing in a dirt field right now. I usually wouldn't do this. As a matter of fact, this is the desert. This is literally what the desert would look like if we didn't build a bunch of stuff out here and put in a bunch of irrigation underneath it. And I wouldn't do this usually. I find it very boring, but this might be the future of the convention business in Las Vegas. And I just thought I would give you some thoughts on all that. Sisolak is to the rescue. Stay tuned to see what his plan of action is. But the question is it too little too late? Like that Bare Naked Ladies song said, if it's too little too late once. It's a good song, look it up. If you guys want to support the channel, you guys can always like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all their notifications. You guys will know when I do videos. I'll be live tonight. Oh yes, I'll be live tonight from the Strip and tomorrow night. You guys can also get in the credits if you guys want to go over to the channel memberships. Much appreciated, much obliged. We also have Patreon. Also, VegasFaceMask.com. Hey, Steven. Nice Dodgers mask. Thanks. They're actually free if you order 4 other masks. I can't sell these masks. That would be a copyright big-time no-no for a small little family-run business like ours. But if you guys want to do that, VegasFaceMask.com. No S at the end. Steve Sisolak has a plan. Came out the other day. He said, I don't want to see Nevada lose the entire convention business. These things take months to get in the works, and I don't want to see the entire first quarter of the year for conventions to be wiped out. So I'm going to come up with a plan, and I'm going to come up with it sometime in the next few months. And I'm going, what are you talking about? First of all, the SHOT Show is already going on. That's to deal with, can't say it because of YouTube's ridiculousness. Things that go pew pew, you know, those things. Also, it has to do with sporting goods like axes and whatnot. Also, the Bridal Expo apparently still on, but as soon as I say those words, I seem to condemn those things and then they disappear and they don't exist anymore. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. Those are in January, but coming up, everything's gone. I talked to somebody that was working in the banquet industry. He worked for one of the big hotels here, professional chef by trade, said he was thinking of moving back home to Chicago because they're telling him maybe April, possibly June for anything to come in. But he says, Sisolak says, that is, not the chef friend of mine, Sisolak says that he wants to make it good. He says, I want to make conventions great again. And yeah, so his plan is to open them up to half capacity. But then how are you possibly going to do half capacity? You see, you won't let people go to the Raiders games, which is 60,000 people, but half capacity for a show like, say, Consumer Electronics is easily 50,000. You know, that's the largest shows in Vegas are about 150,000 capacity. Of course, that wouldn't be over the course of, just a 2-hour period or a 3-hour period like a sporting event. But at the same time, I don't see how this is even possible. You can't eat your cake and have it too. And that's actually the way that saying goes. It was twisted apart by modern language and language patterns. You can't eat your cake and have it too. And that seems to be what we're looking at doing here. It's like buffets. Buffets can't open because of state mandate. The casinos are capitalizing on this, saying, great, no more buffets. We didn't like those things anyways. Forget the buffets. You got people chiming in from UNLV saying, buffets, nobody wants them anymore. Everybody else is going, yes, we did. What are you talking about? Don't tell us what we want anymore. So Sisolak's plan is to come out with a plan to make the conventions not cancel, because what's going on is the conventions are canceling. They're going to other places. They're going to Texas. Texas is like literally eating us apart. They took the NFR away from us. They've had the World Series games, which we couldn't do here because we don't have a proper baseball stadium, obviously. But, this is putting a break on every single thing that we have. And so now's the time of the video where people have already typed in the comments so hard, so angrily. They put finger indentations in their phone screens and they smash their keyboards saying, you're a partisan hack. You just hate Sisolak. No, 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 no. I don't hate Sisolak for his politics. I hate him for his policies. I think his policies have been just a disaster for the state in a lot of ways. And I think he's done good things as well. I don't think that anybody could look at a governor or a leader, a civic leader, governor, president, prime minister, premier. I don't think anybody could look at those people and say that in March, April, May, there was anything different that they could have done. The information was fast and furious coming at you, left, right, and center. Nobody knew what was going on. Everybody was flipped out and scared. Now, though, we know a few different key things. We know that the high-risk group people are always going to be high-risk group people, similar to how they're also high-risk group for influenza and different types of things that might cause them harm. And comorbidity people are always at a comorbidity. We also know that this thing is not going away anytime soon. We know that we're going to be condemned to be wearing masks for a very long time. We also know that we were a pretty dirty society. Places like Thailand didn't get hit with this as hard because they had a much more distant society to begin with. Places like France and Italy, where people were just, eating with their hands and manja, and kissing each other on the cheeks in France, they had a much higher risk for this kind of thing. So we learned that our patterns and our cultural norms and our society and how we lived our life played a big deal into how this has taken everything and warped life for us, depending on where we live. Now we have bigger flare-ups happening in Europe. He's talking about opening up conventions over here. Doesn't make any sense, because even if you opened a convention up to half capacity, you're still going to be missing the majority of the people that will go to the convention. Think about it this way. You think when the SEMA show comes out, Specialty Equipment Manufacturers Association, you think it's going to be 150,000 people that are just from the United States? No. You think when the Consumer Electronics Show comes out, it's going to be 100,000 people just from California, New York, New Jersey, Ohio? No. It's people from all over the place. We need international travel back to facilitate anything like this. I mean, the reason why the conventions are canceling isn't necessarily because the conventions want to be held so bad, but there's just too many state laws in place. I believe the reason they're canceling partially is because there's just not enough international travel to facilitate it. If you're going to write a deal with the LVCVA to rent out the convention center for 3 days, and they're going to give you a bill for it, you better have a massive capacity. So even opening up the conventions might not even be a help right now. I think the things we need to focus on are pretty simple. We need to open things up for live entertainment, more or less, so we have less than 250 people in capacity, or 10%. I think we need to get the Lady Gagas and the Bruno Marses back, and they have to suck it up, Buttercup. You're not going to charge the same $400 concert ticket that you once did. But you know what? You got hundreds of millions of dollars. You got residual record sales. I know your lifestyle was impacted, but guess what? So was everybody else's. So maybe those people that are doing the entertainment can just, charge a reasonable price for their ticket and provide some entertainment, stay relevant in people's minds, because let's be honest here, it's a 3-minute news cycle. The minute they release a single, somebody else releases a single. But hey, wouldn't you like to be able to have some relevancy and some residency time in Las Vegas? But that all hinges on Sisolak making the right choices for what he should open and what he should close. And focusing on the right things is very, very, very important right about now. Focusing on the conventions and saying that you're going to open them up in a couple of months when it takes a couple, and then admitting that the conventions are planned months out and that most of them are actually canceled right now. I said oot just now. I sounded really, really from my roots, being from Canada, by the way. Telling people that you're going to open the conventions up in January, but it's already November in a few days. And then in the next line saying, well, a lot of these conventions plan months in ahead and then cancel months in ahead, doesn't really jive for me. Work on shorter term issues, shorter term problems. There's nothing you can do right now that's going to prevent COVID C-19 from spreading from person to person. This is a reality. This is something we're going to have to deal with. Everybody's going to have to wear their mask. Everybody's going to want to sanitize their hands. Don't worry, in 50 years, we'll have some horrible hand sanitizer plague that made us all, basically susceptible to everything. But for the right now, that was a joke. For right now, we do have to just focus on what's in front of us day by day. Opening up conventions is a great idea, but if there's nobody to go to the conventions, that doesn't work very well for us. And opening up the conventions and doing that idea right now, something you might wanted to have discussed back in, say, September, when you had even better virus stats that could back up the idea of opening up. Because I got news for you too. Yesterday we had 1,000 cases out here. It was the second time in a single week we had 1,000 cases in a single day. But oddly enough, maybe it's the time of the year you don't hear people talking about shutting her down again, do you? Strange world we live in. I'm curious to hear your comments below. Do you think it's a grand conspiracy? Do you think that it's something that we should be concerned about? Would you come to a convention in Las Vegas right about now? I don't know what to tell you, but until there's a vaccine or herd immunity, nothing's really going to change very much for us. We are in a holding pattern that does get better bit by bit, day by day. Look at this out here. I mean, seriously. This is just the desert. It's a nice area. It's beautiful. It's nice to be able to walk around in a desert without being so hot that you just want to crawl up under a tree and die for a little bit. But I do appreciate the beauty of Southern Nevada. It's a lot more varied than you think it is. We're not just what you see on the strip. Hopefully when you do come out here, you rent a car, you take some different treks. We'll talk about that in a different video, so I hope you would like, share, subscribe. Once again, my name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. I'm squinting into the sun. Oh, so bad. But yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, do those free things, or check out channel memberships, Patreon, VegasFaceMask.com. Again, these are free with an order of 4 or more. Dodgers, congratulations, Dodgers tribe. You guys won the World Series. First time in what, 33 years? I'm super happy for you. All right, now's the time of the video where I say 3, 2, 1, click, so I get close to the camera. We look into this part here and we say 3, 2, 1, and click.